I'm about to run out of seeds. Okay. We had enough for that. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Wheat field. Hello there. How are you doing? Hope you're doing wonderful today, and welcome back to Enchanted Hollows Season 3, Episode 7. I actually remember the number for once. Let's go! And today's episode is going to be a huge one. It's going to be a big one because we are going to be doing so much stuff. Oh yeah. There's the big circle. I should probably address that. So let's get our stuff on and let's quickly take a fly on over. And as we do, I'm going to quickly explain what this circle is. So a couple of episodes ago, I discussed what my plan is for this area here. And we're going to turn it into a farm. There's going to be lots and lots of wheat. And there's going to be lots of pathways. And it's going to look awesome. Trust me, I have a brilliant idea. And we're going to start that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, finish that in today's episode. So today's episode is going to be very big on that front. But this here is the beginnings of a hill. So I've outlined it with stone entirely so you guys can see it. But the idea behind this is the very rough shape that I want my sort of hill to be. So it's gonna go around like this, and it's gonna extend a couple blocks out, and it's gonna be about 3 blocks tall. It's really not a big hill. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go and grab a whole bunch of dirt and grass and all of that stuff. Going to, well, build a hill. Exciting, I know.
I'm so excited!
Then what we're going to do is we're going to sort out the farms. So I'm going to lay out how the farms are going to go, because it's not just going to be a giant wheat field. What I'm going to have is I'm going to have actual dedicated areas where there's going to be wheat, and they're going to be like walled in using those cobblestone walls that I did last season. And then we're going to work on the little bubbles that the hill's going to have. So for those of you that watched the last episode, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything over there, but for those of you that watched last episode, I discussed how the mountain is going to work, and we're going to have these sort of pockets here that I'm calling bubbles. And the idea is that these are just going to break up the cliff face a little bit and make it, hopefully, look a little bit less steep. But we will see. We're going to work on that in today's episode. So yeah, we need to start working on that. Now, I don't know how much grass or dirt we have left. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope there's a decent amount. Stone. Stone. Stone and sand. 4 shulker chests of dirt / grass, and an inventory full of that same stuff, dirt / grass. Now what we can do is we can fly on down there, and we can actually just get some building on. We can just get this project done. Hopefully, this won't take too long. So I'm thinking I'm going to talk you through a little bit of this, and then we'll just maybe do a time lapse, maybe do something fancy. Let's see. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to bring it out a little bit, probably. I don't want it to be too square, is basically the main goal, as long as it's not ridiculously square. Basically, the most important thing is that this doesn't look flat, because this is a hill, so it's supposed to be sort of smooth. I'm hoping for it to have like a smooth sort of curve. So yeah, right. Well, I'm gonna just probably cut to when this is done, maybe do a little time lapse in between, but either way, I'm just gonna get to when this is finished. So, here we go. And following that quick time-lapse of sorts, we have a hill. A pretty good hill, I would say, actually. I'm really, really happy with this hill. If we take a quick fly on down here, I mean, it blends in when you're on top of the hill, but it is pretty good. I'm really happy with this so far. I think it's got just the right size. Oh, look, it's a baby dog. I don't have any bones, I don't think. No bones. I'm sorry, little dude. But yeah, this hill, I would say this is pretty much the perfect size. It's not too big, because I didn't want to make the hill take up too much of the land. but it's not too small that I don't think I'm going to get the house on it and the other thing that I want to do. We now get to turn our attention to the farms. So what I want to do is I want to grab my shovel. I was going to do it with dirt, but dirt will just become grass again. And we kind of just want to start splitting the land up just a little bit. Now the house is going to go on here, and the front of the house is going to be on this side. So the front of the house is going to kind of come along to maybe over this bit area-ish, roughly, and the path is going to come down to maybe just about this direction. Like that. I'm going to add some slabs, probably spruce slabs along here to make it so you don't have to jump. But this is going to be the general area that the front of the farmhouse is going to go. And we are going to build the farmhouse in today's episode. But I want to get the land sorted first, because I feel like that's the most important bit. To clarify, this is not going to stay as just a grass path the entire time. I will break this up with some other stuff. Maybe some granite or something. So I need the path to come to about this bit here area. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of leaf litter. I think it looks really good, don't get me wrong, and I think it is such a useful building block, but in terms of the leaf litter itself, yeah, I'm not a fan, because it gets in the way and there's so much of it. Oh, I broke the wrong thing again. I don't know why I completely forgot that I actually have to account for the leaf litter. This is gonna be the worst bit of this project because there's so much of it. So that's our path. I'm running out of rockets, so I may need to contact one of the Enchanted and see if one of them can come and save me. Okay, so that's our little dirt path. It's making its way down the hill, and that's gonna splinter off, and we're gonna have little bits of it go that way. We're gonna have little bits coming off that bit. It's gonna look awesome. Trust me. I'm talking a lot about how awesome it's going to look, but trust me, it's going to look awesome. I've also decided that I want to put a medieval water tower, or maybe a windmill of some sort, on this bit. I've decided I don't really want this bit to have farm on it. I kind of want a windmill or something, but that'll be for a future episode. That's not today, because I've already got enough to do in today's episode with that and the bubbles and all of this stuff. Not going to worry about it just yet. But I think we're going to maybe do our little intersect here. Bring it across just a little bit. Widen the path. I don't really know where I want to take this path. Other than I want it to go in this direction. Maybe I'll snake this path around the mountain. So we've got our first path. This is like the big path, the main path. So I might want to expand that a little bit. And that path going along. Maybe I'll tail it off and head kind of in that direction. I need to remember that there is going to be cobblestone walls. Temporary wall here. This is not the final design, don't worry. Temporary thing, but this can be one of the farm areas. So maybe it'll come out this way a little bit. Yeah, I quite like that. The way that kind of just goes around, and then there'll be the wall going around that bit, and it'll come along here maybe. I think that's a reasonable size for our first field. So we'll have this as one section. That'll be growing a type of crop. Maybe we'll go... Maybe we could have some animals along this bit. Maybe. I'm just kind of brainstorming here. Okay, this is starting to take a shape. I don't know if it's a good one, but it is starting to take a shape. Use our last rocket to get to our bed. And we'll have a look in the morning. Okay, I think maybe bring a path down to here and have a field there. I'm going to put some trees in here as well, because obviously I don't want any open area. Basically, I'm trying to avoid open space whilst not having the entire thing just be a huge wheat field. I bring this maybe to about there. Only a small path, but that could be a field. Expand that. I don't have any enough cobblestone on me, but start the field about here and have that go round. This spot could be good for a field. Yeah, that should do fine. I do quite like the idea of having animals there, actually, now that I've said it. I think that's not a bad idea, because that's very against the coast, so you wouldn't have to worry about providing water for the animals. And also, this little idea that I'm doing here with the different walls would actually allow me to do different crops in different areas. So I can do maybe wheat in one area, and then, I don't know, beetroot in one, and carrots in the other, and it just makes for a nice site. Oh, I hit wall height. Okay. Well, this is actually a good opportunity for us to take a little look. And as I was doing that, it gave me a little bit of time to look at the land and kind of see what I want to do with it. And I think what I've decided is I am going to use this bit here as a wheat field. This bit here is also going to be a wheat field. This I'm thinking of doing as carrots or potatoes. Then I'm going to move that path out to that side and do it maybe in that bit there. And that'll be maybe beetroot or just something different. And then that ring going all the way along the sort of inside of the path will all be the wheat field. So that'll be where the wheat will grow, as well as that bit there. And in that small chunk there, I'm going to have a small sort of storage shed where the farmers can keep their wheelbarrow and their shovels and other farming equipment that I totally know the name of. So I've done a little bit of thinking whilst I was building up, and I have decided that is the plan. So we're going to have the wheat kind of going along there and up to the first 2 layers. Right. We've got 4-ish stacks of cobblestone. So based on the other 2 that we've done, that should do 4. 4 of these walled off areas. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. So we've got distinct crop field areas now. So obviously the wheat is going to be on that inner bit and the first 2 layers of the hill. And then all of these will be a different crop, with the exception of that one, which is going to be sheep or cows. I'm leaning towards sheep. I feel like sheep make more sense, but yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll put chickens in there, actually. We can build like a little chicken coop. Let me know down below. What do you want to see in that area? Chicken, sheep, or cows? I think we are done with laying out where all of the crops are going to go and all that. This only took a little bit, actually. This didn't take that long. I was about to say this only took in so amount of time here, but it didn't actually take that long for us to sort out all of the different areas. I do quite like this area. It's starting to take shape. And I was thinking we could maybe put some bushes along the walls on the outside so they look a little bit nicer, a little bit greener. And then still have the cobblestone for that sort of structure. Because obviously, as a farmer, you're going to want things to not get into your crops and eat them. And whatever else things do to crops. I presume eat them. I'm not a rabbit, so I wouldn't know. So now, I kind of want to set my goal to actually getting the crops in. And getting at least the wheat planted. And for that, I need to head to my industrial district. Because I have some seeds and also my hoe is over there. So... No, my hoe isn't over there. My hoe's in my ender chest, I think. It is. My hoe's right there. But my seeds are over there. So we need to head over there anyways. So let's just get heading on over. So I believe the seeds are... Where did I put them? I swear I had seeds. But there's 1. There's 2. There's some more. I swear I had more than this. Where are all of my seeds gone? I have got 57 seeds to my name. I could have swore I had more, but apparently not. I don't know what I did with them. Plop down our ender chest. Get our hoe out. And let's plant our first section of wheat. Might as well get it in. So I think... I kind of want it to go very close to the edge, but not Not so that it's touching the edge. I'm about to run out of seeds. Okay. We had enough for that. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Wheat field. And now, I'm going to go around, and I'm just going to fill in that entire section there with wheat. So I will see you guys once I've done that. Well, it's been like 2 hours since I sat down and said I'm going to do that. And, well, I've done what I said. It's not all wheat. In fact, the wheat bit has barely expanded. But the reason for that is I stood here AFK for about half an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. And about 5 pieces of wheat grew. So yeah, this is going to take a while, but it's okay. I'll get it done eventually. But look at this. We've got a massive field that we can have all our crops growing on. It's going to be awesome. And now that we have all of this, we can turn our attention to the farmer's house. So we can actually build the farmhouse that's going to be on this bit here. But first, we actually need to go and gather the resources to build it because, well, I don't have them on me at all, really. I mean, my inventory is just full of junk. So I guess we should go and get those resources then, right? Resource number 1 is oak, specifically the log variant. I could get planks, but I feel like the logs will be more useful because we can turn the logs into planks if we need the planks anyways. So we're just going to grab a sugar chest full of these. So oak logs. A lot of stone. Which I know we have some stone over at the mega base, but might as well gather some more whilst we're here. I also got quite a lot of bricks, but for some reason didn't record that. So bricks as well, I guess. And with that final brick, we can... How did we get here? This... You know what? I'm not going to complain. This is where I need to be. We have got all of the resources that we need to make this farmhouse. Now, I have been doing a little bit of tinkering over on the over on the testing world, and I'm going to actually hop across to that quickly to show you guys what I've been working on, because I have planned out this build just a little bit. Not a lot, but I have planned out this build. So let's hop across, and let's go pay it a visit. Okay, and here we are on the testing world, and when I do that, boom. So this is the rough kind of idea of what I want to have for the farmhouse. So this is like the general idea. We've got a little bit of spruce wood up in here, so I need some room to get that. But generally speaking, this is kind of all I want for the farmhouse. This general aesthetic. I feel like this feels very medieval. To me, at least, it does. Maybe the brick doesn't quite go, let me know. Okay, we're back on Enchanted Hollows, and I may need to move this stuff, actually. I'm now consciously aware that it is very much in the way. Let's move it all over here, yeah? Bonk. Bonk. And bonk. And we can take out some stone. And we can chuck it in here. Oh. Fine. We can grab some stone and we can just lay it out like this so that we can break it and get cobblestone. Okay, so I've got a decent amount of cobblestone. We can now start looking at figuring out the dimensions of the house. I'm going to leave that there because that's where the chimney is going to go. Okay, I like that. That's a good start. We need to do something with the window to make it less square, but I'm not sure what. But then what I want to do is I want to bring this bit out a little bit. Not too far. Okay, so that's what we've got so far, and honestly, I pretty like it. I do quite like this. This is quite nice. So here we've just got a repeating window pattern. We might swap this middle one out just to break it up a little bit. Maybe turn this middle one into that, what we've got there. Would be a good idea. Because all that is that's going to be like a little area where we're going to have some flowers. Maybe this bit can be a spot that we have a chair. That could be good fun. Maybe we'll bring that across that bit and have small stool or something. I don't know. Put something there that we don't have on either side there. But that's sort of the front of the house. Not done, but that's the general gist of what we're going for. Now I'm going to go along and just build up the walls. Okay, so we have finished this bit here. And obviously I want a chimney of some sorts to come out of this bit. Of course, I'm going to decorate that a little bit more, but that's going to be where the chimney is going to come out. So it'll be kind of rising up. It's not going to be a cube. Don't worry. I'll actually decorate it. Another thing that I do. No, I'm not going to waste a rocket on that. Actually, I'll just scaffold up. Because I need to bring this up to its maximum height, which is going to be about there. Maybe one more up. Oh, I fell. Yeah, one more up. And that brings it level with that. One more just so that it's level with that. Because that will allow us to determine our decorating just a tiny bit more. Over here, chuck that into there, and then get those. The only reason why I'm doing this is I know what area I've got to work with for the decorating. And can thus, well, decorate accordingly. Okay, so we've got a lot of room to work with when it comes to decorating this bit. Right. Okay, so that's that wall done. This bit is just going to be a carbon copy. So, for the rest of this build, I'm actually going to speed it up. We're going to do a super fast, speedy time lapse because, well, nothing else is going to be new. The only thing that's going to be different is over there is not going to have this. Over there is just going to be a flat wall. But otherwise, they're going to be the exact same. So, yeah, super fast, speedy time lapse. Here we go. Okay, I am back, and you will have seen during that time lapse that I have now finished, for the most part, the entire section around the wall. Obviously, we're going to put bushes in those two sections. But I don't really know what I want to do with this bit. that's going to be something I'll have to figure out. Maybe I can put a shed or something there. That could be good fun. And then on this side, actually, you know what? I'm going to do bushes on this side as well. I thought I'd mirror the front on this side, but I've changed my mind. We're going to do it the same as the other side. So there's just going to be bushes there. I mean, this is a testament to how long I've been here. Just plodding along, working away at this. We've been at it a while now, and I think it's starting to take shape. I'm beginning to see what I want to see in this build, which is a good sign. So now we need to get the roof in. But I'm not going to bore you guys. I am just going to cut this because this is not the most entertaining, I must admit. So, yeah. I will see you guys once I have finished this. And with that, the roof is complete. Look at that. That is magnificent. It looks really cool. I'm really happy. We need to finish up the chimney, which we're going to go and do in a second. But I think this is really starting to take shape. Now, I was planning to do a lot more of this bit in this episode, but what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put that up to there, and then we're going to go to the bubbles, and we'll split the farm across 2 episodes, or the farmhouse across 2 episodes. So we're going to finish the chimney in today's episode, and then we're going to set our attention to the mountain. Okay, so something weird happened, and I can't for the life of me find where the footage for me building the chimney has gone. It's just gone, so yeah, there's a chimney now. Sorry about that. And with the finishing of the chimney, we are done with the exterior of the build. By done with the exterior, I mean done with the base foundation of the exterior. Not actually finished. I still need to do all the little details, like adding the plants and adding the living wall here, and just finishing touches. And also all of the outside, sort of like the wall going around and all of the other things that I want to get in here, like the little garden. But I'm going to do that next episode. I'm going to harvest these crops off camera. I'm not going to force you guys to stand and watch me do that. But we are going to turn our attention to this over here now. We're going to start working on the bubbles. So we're going to get those in. But look at that. It looks so good. I'm so happy with the build. I'm a happy, happy man. This is a good build. So I want one bubble to be coming out of this front face. Maybe about here should be a good place to start. So I want this to be kind of the layer that brings up this side of the city. Because I mentioned last episode, I think, that I want to have a lower section over there, which is going to be residential, and this bit is going to be like our factories and such. So I did want to have this a little bit higher. Okay, let's have a look at that shape, and let's see. Bit boxy. I think maybe we'll smoothen out this edge. Ow. Maybe we'll just bring it along like this. And we can destroy all of that. Hopefully that's a little bit less boxy. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, I'm going to fill this in, and we'll have a little look once that's all in. And that is done. So that's that bubble done. And that's going to have an inside of it, and maybe some factories on the top. I think I want to put a bubble here as well on this bit. But I can't do that until I've got rid of this hill, and I'm not getting rid of this hill in this episode. Far too much effort for this episode. And honestly, I feel like this video, we've done enough. I feel like this episode has been long enough. We've done more than enough. I mean, look at all that we've done over there. We built a hill, we built a farmhouse, we've been working on doing all of the crops. Here, we've built a little bubble. We did a bubble over there, but that wasn't in today's episode. So yeah, I think that is going to be it for today's episode, everybody. I do hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have enjoyed making it. It has been an absolute blast. I do hope you guys are enjoying this season as much as I am. This season has been infinitely better than last season already, and we are only 7 episodes in. I am so happy to be doing Enchanted Hollows Season 3. Our base is starting to take shape. It's starting to look, well, more like things are happening in this area, and less like I just live on a flat mountain. But yes, without further ado, thank you all once again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Good